before we move forwards with our lives, we got to understand about where we are, right? We got to understand where the start point is in the journey. We got to stop within the rat race. We got to stop firefighting, windmilling, and we got to be able to think about the bigger picture. Now, there are 3 types of vision. Okay, I haven't drawn that on the board. I haven't got enough space. There are 3 types of vision. There is vision 1. Vision 1 is the man who stands in front of the tree. All right, imagine these 2 hands are the trees, and you're standing right here, about 6 inches, and all you can see is the tree. So we're looking at the tree. You can't see anything around the tree. You can't see behind the tree. All you can see is the bark in front of you. That's what we would call short-sighted. Now, for many of the guys, whether you like it or not, that's where you are. All right, we have no vision about where our life is going, what the road looks like, what our yellow brick road is, what our path is. We might have at some point, but because right now where we are, we're here. That's why you put your email and your name in a box and went, I want to try this 5-day challenge. I want to see what this dude's about. There's the second vision. Now, the second vision is when you feel inspired, motivated, driven, you suddenly get a little bit of momentum going. So it's almost like standing 10 paces back from the tree. So walking back 10 paces, you can see the tree and you can just see past the tree. So there are glimpses of a vision of a better road for you, of optimism, of more fulfillment, purpose, drive and ambition. Because we're suddenly feeling it, right? And then where we are, where most men go is between vision 1 and vision 2, depending on how they feel. Sometimes people are waking up for a bad day, on a bad day. Some people will feel super optimistic and driven around New Year's Eve. Maybe it's a Monday coming up and you're like, Monday, I'm on it, let's go. So you've walked back from the tree. But you just end up going between being here in the bark and being 10 meters back. Okay, seeing no vision, firefighting. And that's where frustration creeps in, right? Stress, chaos, frustration. Why can't I sustain something? Why can't I have mindfulness? Why can't I be happy mentally, emotionally, physically? And that's because we're going through these paces. Now, the third vision. The third vision is what I'm trying to get guys to. And that is walking all the way up the hill that the tree is at the foot of and getting to the top of the hill. And when you get to the top of the hill, there's no obstructions. There is just horizon. There is beyond what you can see. And that suddenly takes your vision to new levels. It creates a path. It creates a mission. It creates direction, optimism. All of the things that we're missing right now because we're right down at the bottom of the mountain and our head's stuck right in front of the tree. But what we are doing now is looking at a journey. We can now see in the far distance about places that we want to be. And now we've got to choose a route. We need a route selection. We need a direction. We need a bearing. We need a yellow brick road. And on that yellow brick road, on that horizon, is called a process. It's called a journey. It's called a mission. And while you're on that, you are going to start building up character, principles, values, purpose, drive, ambition, passion, all of the things, all of the ingredients that you're missing right now in your life. Because life is crap right now for you. And it all stems from here. It's a state of mind. That's what it says right there. Okay? It's a state of mind. Now, what vision you are at depends on where your state of mind is right now. It depends on your past. It depends what you've gone through. It depends on what you tell yourself. It depends on how you see yourself. It depends on what people have said about you. And there are all of these emotions that we're trying to get to. But when we're on the top of the hill, we can have more control, consistency, clarity. And to get to the top of the hill is a journey in itself. That is getting us up from the rut. The tree down the bottom of the mountain is the rut. We need to be on the top. All right? Now, how do we build the state of mind? How do we build this state of mind so that we're showing up to do our health, to follow our health, to be healthier, thinner, more toned, more energy, mentally stronger, more resilient, more robust, How can we be emotionally stronger? How can we have more emotional intelligence? How can we control the anxiety, the depression, the curveballs, the negativity, the spiral out of control? How can we control all that? Well, it comes through a state of mind. And the state of mind is held up by 4 pillars. And you met those 4 pillars today on the life audit. They were health. And under health comes mental, emotional and physical. Conditioning, well-being. Second pillar was relationships. The relationships with yourself first, then with others. Your personal development. How are you learning? How are you growing? You're doing it today. If you're here and you're involved in a challenge, you're involved in personal development. You've put yourself forwards. You've taken a plunge. For many of my guys that I work with, this is day 1. The ambassadors that will introduce themselves this week, this was day 1, and now they're on year 4 or 5. John, who is my number 2, who I introduced you to Sunday, this was his day 1 in 2015. Now he works for me. He's my operations manager. They were all down by the tree. Now they're on top of the mountain. And then the last pillar is your business/career. Okay, how you have work-life balance, your relationship with your job, whether you're in a career jail or whether you're moving forwards. So what we want to be able to do now is I want to be able to teach you and educate you, okay, to be able to build that state of mind. All right, and I'm going to teach you the fortress and what the fortress looks like. Bay, can you just answer that phone for me? It's my phone, or it's either your phone or my phone in the lounge. Thanks, mate. Okay, so what you have, sorry guys, real life. What we have here is a fort, okay? And I want you to imagine this fort is your state of mind, okay? This fort is held up by the 4 pillars that I spoke about. Now, when we work on ourselves, we fortify this fort even more. It becomes unbreakable. You can't penetrate it. Okay, and we build it up over a period of time. Who was it? Chip. Can you phone it back for me? Because I'm working. 634091. That's fine. It's fine. It's not a bank pin, bud. All right, and all of the time, chaos, or just phone it from your phone. Chaos is trying to get into our mindset here. Okay, it's trying to get in. It's trying to affect us. The outside world, COVID. All of the other crap and negativity that the press try and put out there. Social media. Chaos comes in a form of stress, identity, your job/career, your relationships, your uncertainty, finance. These are just examples of chaos that is going on in the external world that you are allowing in. And what they're doing is breaking down your state of mind. They're breaking through these walls and they are corrupting the way that you think. So we suddenly become negative. We suddenly become lethargic, mundane. And that overwhelms us. And we have those feelings permanently all the time. That's why we wake up and we're numb. That's why we wake up, we've got no passion, no drive, no fire. We've kind of gone through a process in life and we're stuck and we're lost. Many of you will be in this transition of leaving one chapter and you're desperately trying to find the other chapter. And that's why you want to be on the top of this mountain. Was she all right?
Yeah, she's all good.
Okay. And you're desperately trying to find that chapter. You're trying to get to the top of the hill to find your vision, to find your next chapter. So most of you are stuck in this transition. And it sucks, right? Because there is no drive. There is no happiness. Life sucks. Look at all the comments on the ads that are put out for this. Everyone is like, it's all negative. My life's this, my life's that, my life's this, my life's that. That's because the chaos has broken through. Now, how we build ourselves is by building these, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, and reinforcing this state of mind. So the chaos suddenly deflects off you. It's almost like having a force field around you. The more you work on yourself, the thicker, the stronger that force field is around you. Resilience is pretty much what we call it on a day-to-day basis. That resilience is what the chaos bounces off. And the stronger you become, mentally, emotionally, physically, the more and more, the less and less you notice negativity. You notice everything else going on around you. Okay. So how do we build this up? All right. How do we do that? There are a couple of things that I teach, and I'm going to share them with you. Okay. When we're doing this and we're building this, the first thing we're doing is building resilience. All right. The first thing we're doing is building resilience. Resilience is just what I spoke about. Now we have what we call an alter ego. Now our alter ego is, if you like, your shadow, your reflection, the subconscious that is down here that we're trying to get up here. And that's the elite operator mindset. The elite operator mindset is whatever you want it to be. You can be as Chad as you want. Mine's super Chad. Mine's that image of a special forces soldier, of a Navy SEAL with his great big beard, his Gucci moves, meticulous, clinical, focused, driven, only focused on the mission. No distractions, taking out anything trying to get in his way. So when I'm having a bad day, that's my alter ego. That's my shadow. That's my reflection. That's how I handle my business, my day, my mindset. When I do my morning routine, that's the mindset that I try my best to adapt because it makes me stronger. It brings me back. As soon as the demons are playing, bang, I'm fighting back. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to fight back. Resilience. Following this process gives us a process. Now, I've already spoken about this, being the top of the mountain, building a process and building a mission. And mission is going, hey, where are you going to be in 10 years? Crazy, right? To think that. That's something that we've been teaching on a 28-day challenge. It's something that we implement with our mastermind. Where are you going? Like, what's the vision? Like, it doesn't have to be concrete plans. Don't be misguided that I want you to tell me exactly what you're going to do in 10 years, but it's a vision. When I was 40, I sat down and went, where do I want to be when I'm 50 in each of these pillars? Where's the priorities? Where's my time and energy going? Where's the yellow brick road? Where's my reference point? My North Star? If you imagine being dropped into a desert, get off in a helo, dropped in a desert, not told where to go, given no tools, you're kind of like, oh my God, where am I going? How do I get out of this? And you wander, you drift, you guess, you cuff it. Okay, does that sound familiar? Being stuck in that desert. Suddenly, if I put you in there and said, this is where I want your extraction point is, this is where you can get picked up, there's the map, there's the compass, there's all the reference points I want you to hit before you get there, off you go. Great, I now know where I'm going. Great, I'm going to hit that point, that point, that point, that point. It's going to take me this long. Now I've got a mission. Now I'm on a mission. Now when you're in a mission, you're in a process. In the process, you're learning, you're experiencing. You learn, grow, repeat. Trying to fail as much as possible. You heard that right. Trying to fail as much as possible. The more you fail, the more you learn. The more you learn, the more experience you get. The more experience you get, the more resilient you become. Yeah. If you're not failing, it means you're not doing anything. If you're not failing, you're not doing anything. You're not progressing. So having a mission, understanding the direction you want to go, reverse engineering that mission to what you need to do in the next 12 weeks. What do you need to do in the next 28 days? What do you need to do this week? What do you need to do today? And that leads us on. Whilst building this, you are going to build identity. I'm pretty much sure that the majority of you don't know your true identity, what you like, what your passions are, what you want out of life. Some of you will. Some of you might have an inkling. But if I was to say, hey, tell me who you are. Tell me what you stand for. Tell me what your principles are. Tell me what you believe in. Maybe you did one time, but then being a dad, maybe going through a divorce, maybe being made redundant, affected that along the way. When I left the military, for the 3 years I left the military, I didn't know who I was. I knew who I was. I was Sergeant James Boardman, teaching college students, 16 to 18 year olds, and still trying to pretend I was in the military. Still conflicted by knowing what my purpose was when I left. Still struggling to let go of what I held on to for so long. That passion of being a Royal Marine. That camaraderie, that integrity, that belonging, that camaraderie. And I was still trying to hold on to that for 3 years, which was what sent me doolally. Because there was confliction. There was trauma going on in here going, you're not Sergeant James Borman anymore. You're not. You're this person. But I didn't know who that person was until I started entrepreneurship, until I started my own business, until I went, I can't do this job, left myself financially ruined, about to lose my mortgage, my house. I was divorced. I messed things up with my family. I came home to be with my family and messed that up. But I rebuilt. Okay, and I rebuilt through entrepreneurship, and through entrepreneurship, through business, through building my boot camp. That was my first ever business. I went from zero to hero because I found purpose and hunger and drive and passion and desire, and the belief started to come back, and the emotions started to come back, and the drive started to come back, and I started to find something. And when you ask me now, do I miss the military? No, I don't, but I cherish the moments because I'm a new man now. I'm a different man. And that's the process. It doesn't happen overnight. I'm not teaching overnight. I'm not teaching quick fix here. I'm teaching rewiring. Rewiring. You have to do the rewiring. You have to do the hard work. If you're going to reach change doesn't come overnight. Change comes after a year. Ask my guys who are in my mastermind who have been through this process. Ask the guys through the 28-day programs. Ask the guys who have been on these 5 days. Ask the guys who keep coming back here. This is long term. There is no overnight success here. There is no overnight breakthroughs. It takes relentless. It could take you 6 weeks before you suddenly start feeling better. But that's perseverance and patience. So the next thing, it brings you progress, which brings me on. 1% a day forever. We talk about building up small steps. Now, somebody said yesterday, I think I'm beyond help or beyond change. No one is beyond help or change. What you have to do is change your relationship with what change is. People don't even know what they want, don't even know what change is. Yeah, sure, you might want to look different, feel different. But what we have to do is look at it this way, is if you think about prisons and they count off their days. This could be a multitude of 1% before we hit a big win. Then we hit a load more small wins. It takes all of these tiny wins, and a 1% win could be beating a snooze alarm. It could be saying no to the cake. It could be not allowing yourself to feeling anxious. It could be showing up for an interview. It could be filling an application form. It could be saying something nice to somebody. It could be helping someone across the road. It could be telling yourself that you are good enough, that you are worth it, that you should believe in yourself. Small wins that you tell yourself. I always say to people when they say to me, I don't have time to train, it really just makes me want to throw them on a mat and do lots of jiu-jitsu with them. No night. 168 hours in a week. 168 hours in a week. And when people say to me they don't have time to train, and I say, how about doing 3 20-minute sessions a week? Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That's 1 hour. 1 hour out of a 168 hour week. I don't even know what that is as a percentage, but it's low. Come on. All right? If you did 3 20-minute workouts every single week for the rest of your life, tell me if that would make a difference. Would that make a difference to your life? Yeah, of course it would, right? If you cuddled your kid every single morning and before you went to bed and you told you loved them 3 times a day, would that make a difference to the relationship? Yes, it would. If you bought your missus flowers once a week, would that make a difference? If we stopped and listened to ourselves and what our minds is telling us, would that make it? Yes, it would. If we stopped burying our head in the sand about the problems that we're facing, hence why you did your life audit today, would it make a difference? Yes, it did. Look at the comments at the start. How did you find the task? It was eye-opening. It was relevant. It made me think. Because remember, the majority of people are here, short-sighted, so we don't stop to think where am I? Stop, reorganize myself, where am I? Make sense? And then the last one here is the foundations. All right, the 3 C's. The 3 C's. Now the C's stand for, number 1 is consistency of action. Not putting the pressure on. Small steps, right? Small wins. Consistency of action. Control of your time, your energy, and your balance across life. Control is, for me, the biggest C. That's what I think many men are missing right now, is lack of control. And control of your emotions. And then clarity of where you want to go and how you're going to get there. I.e., top of the mountain, vision, walk towards that vision. Clarity, that's my reference point, my North Star. I'm going to go in that direction. On the way, there could be some curveballs. I might have to take a different direction, but at least I'm on a path. At least I'm learning. At least I'm moving forwards. So by following a lot of these traits, this is pretty much a lot of the stuff that I teach. I don't try and overcomplicate it with a lot of stuff, but this is how we build resilience, process, identity, stress, foundations. These are your soldiers. These reinforce your state of mind. So the more you work on your pillars, the stronger your walls are. The harder it is for these, the enemy, to get in. Okay? And this is forever. This is forever. These points here are forever. It never stops. It just evolves. It never stops. It just evolves. When you get to the next level, you evolve. You get to the next level, you evolve. Next level, evolve. Okay? Cool. All right, guys, how was that? Let me know what you thought of that before I go into the questions. Let's keep it short and sharp in terms of those comments because I can't really see a lot on my screen. So did that make sense? Let's try it. Thumbs up if that really made sense, if you got a lot from that. And then I'm going to go through the questions. And by the way, guys, listen, I don't consider myself, I hate the word, everything I say is from my own experience, okay? Some of you might disagree, and that's cool. Some of the things you might go away and think, oh my God, yeah, I get that, I understand that. But it's not one shoe that fits all, right? It's just that these are just concepts that I want to share with you. These are just mind processes that have worked for men. We have worked with thousands of guys. We understand the guy, it just know how the guys work. And I just think through my own process and my own reflection, and I think through having been in many guys' minds and heads and what they talk to me about, it really makes sense. I read a lot of comments. I read a lot of on social media about mental health, on the way that people think and the things that are happening. And this is the simplest way that I really think I can break it down for a lot of people to understand. Okay, cool. I'm glad that's making sense, guys, and you're getting a lot from that, which is great. Yeah, 100%. Do watch back. These videos are up till next Monday, so please do. I will be putting these up on podcast next week and YouTube as well, so you'll be able to watch them back as well. So, all right, okay. So I'm just going to answer these questions. What I'd like you just to do for me is just hold on the questions if you're on the phone and you're watching. Once I smash these questions out, which I'm pretty rapido with, I'm then going to come to you guys on here, all right? You might not like the answer to some of these questions, but that's just me. I'm just straight to the point. It's the way it is. Let's see what happens. Relationship. Can I do it on friends as no others to do it on? Oh, yeah. So the relationship one, right, guys, is focus. How's your relationship with yourself? So do it with your friends, do it with yourself. What's the relationship you have with yourself? A lot of people joke around and say, oh, he loves himself. Do you love yourself? Do you like yourself? And if not, why not? And what are you going to do about it? I think that's what's really important. How do you keep discipline to stick to healthy foods and not fall back into habits? So discipline is a funny one. I feel like people that are not disciplined are not conditioned to be disciplined. So for example, if I go up to somebody that is not conditioned to do press-ups and say, right, I want you to do 100 press-ups, he's probably not even going to be able to do one. Whereas if I go up to a Royal Marine physical trainer and say, right, do 100 press-ups, bang, they do it in 2 minutes. So discipline is something that I believe that you can only get better with practice. I truly believe accountability is absolutely necessary. Like everybody I see is trying to get themselves fit or trying to improve their lives by themselves. And probably for 20 years, most of those guys have tried and failed. Same situation, coming back to falling into bad habits. So how do you become more disciplined? You find accountability. You start with small steps. So if you're looking at healthy foods, just simply be disciplined at your breakfast. Make sure your breakfast is absolutely mint and nailed for 2 to 3 weeks. Then do it for lunch for 2 to 3 weeks. Then do it for dinner for 2 to 3 weeks. And before you know it, you're 9 weeks in, and what you've done has been disciplined all the way through. Keep a disciplined journal. Keep a note of what's happening and what's not happening. Like anything, you start at the 1%. You have to build it. Okay, falling back into bad habits as well. It's just that there is no mission. There's no emotional connection, right? Motivation is wank. So when you're in a club and you see someone talking to your missus, you can get jealous. You have that emotion. When someone makes you laugh, okay, you see a comedian making you laugh, that's an emotion. When someone triggers you, says you're an idiot, okay, you get angry. When you watch a video or you're in a training, you feel motivated. It's an emotion. The thing that all of them have in common is that they come and they go. So when motivation is gone, you're left with an empty shell. So the thing that we need more than anything is the emotional connection to showing up. Like, why do you want to eat healthy foods? Because I want to be thinner. Why do you want to be thinner? Because I want to set a good example for my kids. Why do you want to set a good example for your kids? Because I think it's important for them to see me healthy and fit and I want to see them grow up. Why is that important? And so on. Suddenly you get to the core of the emotion of why you want to improve. So if you say to me, your kids is the reason to eat healthier and you're not doing it, what you're basically saying is your kids are not good enough for you to show up. And that stings, right? You're like, oh, geez. And every time, remember the alter ego, the elite operator? He will tell you in your mind, in your subconscious that, hey, Barry, you said you wanted to eat healthier for your kids and you're about to stuff your face with that cake. Just remember when you eat that cake, it's saying that you are not good enough. Your kids are not good enough. Okay, you go ahead and eat that cake, see how that feels. And suddenly you start having this internal conversation with yourself. Okay. Accountability is key. I've got coaches and mentors who I'm accountable to. I have however many 100 guys in my world who are accountable to me and my staff and my coaching team. It's like, man, like if you're not showing up, you're getting called out. My issue is focus and difficulty concentrating on one thing. I chased 2 chickens, ended up catching none. How can I solve this? So, Andrew, that is the classic doing everything but nothing scenario. Trying to change everything at once. When really we should be focusing on the 1% a day. Focus deteriorates when suddenly we become overwhelmed. Overwhelmed is like carrying a huge weight around with you, like a huge burden. And the more and more that you want to try to achieve, the more you throw into that burden, the heavier it gets, the more tired and fatigued you become mentally and emotionally, the less focus that you have. Instead of trying to change the world, focus on one thing primarily, which is a priority that would really make a difference to your life in the next 28 days, and focus on that one thing. Don't focus on anything else. If it's getting up in the morning, deal with that morning. Okay, you have asked us to score ourselves on the chosen subjects. At your lowest point, what would you have scored yourself? I'm thinking about my really hard, blah, 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 blah. I guess what I'm saying is there a way back from that? At my lowest point, my scores would have been 1 on everything. Probably not even 1. Like I was sitting on my bed ready to go. I was ready to pop those pills with that bottle of Jack Daniel. It was done. I was done. I was tapping out. Okay, that was the end. Do you know what I'm saying? That's the lowest of the low. 2000 and around towards the end of 2012, 2013. We're 7-8 years on. You're never out of the fight. You are always in the fight. It never changes. And that's where you have to tell yourself that here. You are always in the fight. What's the main goal at the end? To know where your starting point is. Views on mindfulness, 100%. You need to have that. You need to be aware of your conscious mind. That's the subconscious, right? This is the alter ego. We need him to be at the forefront of our mind here. So he's thinking for you. He's challenging you. He's holding you accountable. For me, mindfulness is connecting with the alter ego, with your shadow, with your reflection. Mentioned yesterday in your intro that I feel I'm beyond help or that it's a bit futile. No point. How do you reach someone like that who feels so numb to it all? So I've spoken about that, and I've seen one of your comments just saying I'm starting to see that it's about showing up here. Okay, you don't try and change the world overnight. Just worry about what you can do tomorrow that's going to start improving the way that you live your life. So get up 15 minutes earlier, get up 20 minutes earlier, go for a walk, go for a 20-minute walk, go for an hour walk, listen to a podcast, do some press-ups, do some squats, start building momentum. Okay. I'm in a rut with health issues, fitness, and an ex that manipulates my 4 children and has bled me dry. If it wasn't for my new fiance, Joanna, I'd have committed suicide 5 years ago. Wait, you didn't? And you're here, John. So good lad. I struggle with focus and maintaining my goals, so pretty much feel like crap even after my best efforts. So no satisfaction with my lot, offering then chillaxing with my girl. I know the answer isn't the bottle or chillaxing, but it's become the easy option. Give myself a slap. I should. A man with the feck up. How do you stay focused on the 4 points? Again, bring it right back. Bring it right back. Reverse all of it. Stop trying to change the world overnight. Focus on your controllables. Let go of the uncontrollables. Focus on your controllables, things that you have control of. Let go of the things that you don't. Okay, and I think that's where is absolutely essential for you moving forwards. So all of those things I don't control, let's move into one side. Let's start building up the fortress to not let them in. That's the chaos. This is the direction. This is the way I'm going. What's the first thing? What's the 1%? Then remember the mission every single day. I waste time endlessly scrolling on my phone. Motivation for stuff is okay, but almost none for my employers. Burnt out in April, back in work from Friday. Need to tweak my mindset because I currently despise the bosses who dumped me during COVID. So I think with careers, guys, there's such a thing as career jail. Now, for me, if you're in a job and you hate your job, you've got to do something about it. If you're 40 years old, you've got 25 years left there. So you might as well kill your boss and do a life sentence in jail. Okay. Obviously, please don't do that. But you know what I mean? And I don't mean, hey, look, quit your job right now. Forget your mortgage. It's going to work out. I'm talking about, hey, in 6 months, what can you do? In 6 months, what can you do? Where can you be in 6 months? What jobs do you want to apply for? How can you get your CV up to scratch? How can you improve your profile on LinkedIn? What are all of the things that you can do, okay, that can improve your chances of being employed in a better job? What do you want? There's nothing stopping you, okay? There's nothing stopping you. How to focus on what's important and maintaining focus and drive in life. How to focus. So it should you should know what we want to focus on in life. You know what your important things are. So literally focus on them. It's not rocket science here. You are in control of every single thing that you do. Everything that you say, every implementation, every direction, every decision. So if you want to focus on the things that are important, identify the things that are important and focus on them. Give them a period of time that you focus all of your energy on. Work-life balance, for example, is really important to, hey, look, for me, Between 7 and 8, I focus on the kids, right? I focus on the kids. Between 7 and 8, getting ready for school, etc. Then I start my work. Then I finish the work. And then I switch off from like 4:30. Phone goes on airplane mode, bang, it's family time. But it never used to be like that. I used to burn myself into the ground, trying to build a business, trying to build an empire. And I misplaced those priorities until I identified them, until I was honest with myself, until I stopped burying my head in the sand and saying, hey, Jamesy boy, you're ruining another relationship. You want to be close with your kids, you want to be close with your partner. Balance. C, middle C, control. Hi guys, I haven't worked for 3 years. Have you ever had time off work due to mental health? If so, in a brief synopsis, how did that play out? No, I haven't, but we have had guys out who have struggled and had time off for mental health issues. I think at some point there's going to be an element where you need to take a step back and show some courage in terms of, hey, look, how can I build myself back up here to be around people, to be in a habitat or an environment where I feel comfortable. And I think maybe, I don't know the context of like the mental health issues, but I certainly feel that there has to be a plan of action to bring yourself back into society and get yourself back on your feet. Okay. Otherwise that burden is going to stay over your head forever. There has to be a plan of action. You have to get yourself to the top of the mountain if you watch the very start of this video, and you have to see the horizon, the direction. And it's going to be hard. Of course it's going to be hard. Nothing is easy. Nothing is easy. It wasn't easy for me. But, those 3 years, I still worked through all of that trauma, all of that stress, all of those emotions, the thing that got me back was finding something that I loved doing, and that was helping people in my boot camp, So let's get it, Danny. Let's get it back. Cool, man. So I'm pretty much angry with the world. How do I stop being so triggered? Politics, papers, man depleting the forest and oceans, 72 genders apparently. Delete all of social media, delete all of your news apps, and be completely news and media free. Those things are going to happen whether you're angry or not. The world does not give a shit that you're angry. You are just burning energy and time away on things that you have no control over. Imagine what you could put your time and your passion and your energy into instead of being angry. So if you turn that anger into passion, positive passion towards something, imagine what you could achieve, right? Imagine what you could achieve. The world's not going to change because you're angry. Those things are uncontrollable. They're in that box of uncontrollable things. And if you keep meddling with it, you're going to burn out from it. Okay? The main problem I have is brain capacity. I seem to have so many thoughts that I forget to do stuff or get stuff done as one thought overlaps another. I will make arrangements to see a new customer and then forget to see them. So Anthony, one of the things that we recommend and one of the things that we teach is brain dumping. So brain dumping at different periods of time is key. So in the mornings, brain dump everything you've got going on in your mind. Okay, get everything down. Great, get out your system. Okay, the whole idea of having a brain dump is to clear out the brain. Do one at lunchtime. Do one before you go to bed. Okay, when you do one before you go to bed, it helps you sleep better. All right? How do you stay focused on your goals? What drives you when you're low and can't be asked with anything at all? Okay, I stay focused because there is an emotional connection that I'm on. In October, I hit my 3-month checkpoint of my 10-year vision. So what keeps me going when I'm low is knowing the mission. Like honestly, there are days when it's just not happening. I've woken up and I just don't feel like it. Okay? But this is what gets me through. The bigger picture. The bigger picture. One bad day doesn't mean one bad week. One bad week doesn't mean one bad month. And one bad month doesn't mean one bad year. We're always going to have ups and downs. And the sooner you accept that, the quicker you can move on. Being unemployed for 2 years, how do you get a career when you suffer from crippling anxiety? You find the career that you want and you figure out a way to fill that application and start building yourself up. So just like I spoke to the lad earlier about being out with mental health issues, you've got to have a plan of action to slip back in. Because how's it going? Yeah, if you continue that where you are now, Ali, yep. How's that working out for you? Does it work well? It probably frustrates you, right? And I can understand that anxiety is that crippling fear of the unknown, of fear of judgment, of fear of rejection, fear of failure. But hey, look, unless we put one step on front of the other and say, this is me going to try, we're never going to build up the conditioning of the patterns of the mindset that we need to build up in here to move us forwards. We just stay here. I'm just like, right, I'm going to stay here and I'm going to struggle with anxiety. That's what I'm going to keep telling myself. Or you can start putting in positive affirmations saying, I'm good enough. I can do this. It doesn't matter if I don't get it. It doesn't matter if somebody doesn't like me. It doesn't matter if someone has an opinion. It just matters that I am good enough. I've got more belief. And the more you do it, guess what? The more natural it becomes, the more automated it becomes. Looks like for a lot of us who are in the same boat here for different reasons. Life has left me battered and bruised. I lost everything after my wife left me in 2005. I got up and battled on to get back everything I lost. Then the same thing happened. I lost my business, dog got killed, woman left, lost home. Moved back in with my parents, then got attacked one night for no reason after jumping all over my unconscious head. For a while, left me with a partial sight and lots of niggling things like a trapped nerves in the face. Started smoking, heroin. I can do the physical quit, but the sense of hopelessness and depression keep me running back. But quitting next week after seeing the doctor, good lad. So the thing I would say there, Ben, you've had it rough. That is a rough period or chapter of your life. But Ben, I always look at it and think it's not forever. There is still an opportunity for you to bounce back and inspire other people that have gone through the same thing. Because I've done this a lot, okay? I see this happening a lot. Like this scenario has happened hundreds and hundreds of times. But you could be a shining light for a lot of people with your grit and determination. You can use it as your fire to showing up. I'm going to prove everyone that screwed me over, everyone that had an negative effect in my life, I'm going to keep showing up and I'm going to prove these motherfuckers wrong. I'm going to prove to these people that you can't knock me down. You knock me down 10 times, I will get up 11 and I will punch you in the face with everything that I got. That's the mentality, right? Look at the difference that we see how we can turn that around, Ben. You can suddenly find that in here, but like I can't do that for you. I can guide you, but you've got to be able to get up. I really struggle to get out of bed straight away some days and just lie there knowing I need to get up but can't. Any tips on motivation to get out of bed? So what you could do is put your phone on the other side of the room, so you've got to get up for the alarm, or you could realise what is the reason you want to get up. Why do you want to get up? Why do you want to get up early? Okay, and I think that's what's really, really important. Many people just want to get up. I just want to get up early. Like we'll be talking about this on Thursday. But having the emotional connection to getting up early, to like having some purpose and your mission. Like I get up at 4:15 Monday to Friday. I do it because I love being up in the morning. I love going for my walk at 4:30 in the morning till 7, doing my morning shows if you watch them, like connecting with my alter ego, connecting with the mission, getting myself out of that mind fog or that fog and being clear. I just love that process, man. And like you've got to be in love with the process. You've got to be in love with improving yourself. You've got to be in love with the fight, you versus life. I love it. When life throws stuff at me and shit at me, I'm just like, let's go. Right? Let's go. Like it's a battle, guys. It's not going to get any easier. Ever. Like it's probably going to get worse, right? So you could either stay there and you could be punched in the face, or you can fight back. Like I guarantee, if someone come up to you in the street and start punching you in the face, you'd fight back. So my question is, why aren't you doing that with everything that life throws at you? Okay, how can you be yourself without being negative on yourself if nothing is going how you imagined it would be? That's life. Curveballs, misdirections. You've got to have an adapt and overcome mentality. Adapt to the situation, overcome it. Don't beat yourself up. Victim mentality is men's worst enemy. Oh, woe is me. I'm shit. I'm no good. Get a grip. And I mean that in the nicest possible way. If you get punched in the face, you punch back and you get up and you go again. Failure is part of learning. Nothing is as straightforward as you want it to be. But building this allows you to be stronger mentally, emotionally, physically. Okay, last question. How can I get over a death of my mother? The way she was taken at the start of my first lockdown and how I wasn't being allowed to see her to say goodbye has made me feel a kind of rage I've never felt before, and it's eating me inside. How can I move past it? Because it's all I think about, and I think that is horrendous, Alan. And we've met a couple of people like that. And I would always say, Alan, is that would your mum want you to be angry? Okay, so would she want you to go around dwelling angry at something that you had no control of? And of course, it's I dread it when my mum goes. My dad died when I was 6, so I was probably too young to really comprehend that. But I used to get really angry that my dad didn't look after himself. When I was a kid, I used to get really angry. It's like, why did you smoke? Why did you drink? Why did you allow it to get yourself stressed? It's probably why I do what I do, subconsciously. And then I just realised, would he want me to continuously dwell on all of those things? I don't think he would. And I would say, Alan, is that your mum is probably super proud of you in the way that you are and that love and that bond, and she would know that you loved her, and she would know that you'll be thinking of her, but actually use her memory to thrive in life. Use it as your hunger. Instead of being angry, be passionate. Make her proud of you. Go out there and show her spirit, her memory, her legacy will lie in you. I always say that part of my dad lives in me, and his legacy lives in many of the guys that I work with, So channel it to be your legacy. Guys, we're going to start wrapping up. So I just want to know how that was for you. Did you get a lot? Hopefully you got a lot out of that. It's the first night. Lots more to come. Tomorrow is a very different type of day. Make sure you got your stuff ready. All I always say about tomorrow is do what you can do. The scores don't matter. I'm not going to give it away. Do what you can do. I'm looking for that inside of you. Okay, that's what I'm looking for in here. Okay, in here. I want to see what we've got, and now I want you to see what you've got. I want you to do something maybe you haven't done for a while, maybe you have. Okay, and I think it helps. Danny, thanks, bro. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Honestly, I love it. Steve, thank you. Luke, thank you. Thanks, Daniel. Appreciate it, bro. Cool. So if you are watching back, tomorrow I will pop in. I've got clients all day tomorrow, but I will be popping in just to answer any questions or anyone that's missed. Really, it's just to get you thinking a different way. Hopefully already you are starting to feel better. Hopefully you're starting to understand some things differently, right? That's what it's all about. I'm not going to change your life in 5 days, but we're certainly going to give it a good go, and hopefully you'll take away some real positive thoughts from this. Okay, and it's great. It's been great to have you. So, lastly, before I go, thank you very much for engaging. I know for many of you, you'll be nervous about commenting or saying something or making a point, and it takes an awful lot of courage to actually just say something in the comments or open up. So for those that did, thank you. And then hopefully we get the links right in the emails from here on in. But thank you so much. I'm going to go and have tea now. I'll catch you tomorrow night. Really looking forward to seeing you tomorrow night. Enjoy tomorrow. Really enjoy tomorrow, and you'll understand why I've asked you to do it. Okay. And you'll understand why I've got you to do it. All right, guys, take care.